Good morning, everyone. This is Jacob Folger, artist sculptor, and today we're going to make a really cool fairy house with air dry clay. This is Amaco brand modeling clay, air dry clay. It's really pretty good. I like it a lot. And yeah, so this is going to be really a lot of fun. So we're going to start off. This is going to be a miniature little guy. I'm going to roll a ball, like that, and I'm going to press it into the table to kind of mold it so it's kind of flat on the bottom. And I'm kind of rotating it a little bit, like, while I shape it. So it looks kind of like that. And it's flat on the bottom. And that's going to be the base for the fairy house. And I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to take a little bit of clay. I'm going to roll it into a ball. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to roll it into a noodle. So it looks like this. Maybe a little skinnier. So it's like this. And I'm going to flatten it on the bottom. So that's the bottom. Now I'm going to take my fingers, my two fingers like this. I'm going to hold it like that. And I'm going to take these two fingers like this. And I'm going to squeeze it. And when I do that, it kind of shapes it into like this long rectangular thing. It even has little corners. I'm just going to kind of squeeze it and shape it so it's fairly uniform. You can kind of take your fingers like this and pinch along the edges to further square it out. Like that. Now I'm going to take my two fingers here and I'm going to squeeze the top to form a point, so it's like that. And then when you squeeze it that, this part right here will become a little bit wider, so you just want to squeeze that back down so it's uniform with the rest of the house. Now we're going to take a little bit of clay, roll it into a ball, and into a noodle, like this. Maybe a little longer. So it's like this. And we're going to squeeze it so it's kind of flat like this. Like that. And we're going to flatten the ends just by pushing on them and forming them. So it's basically shaped like this. You see? And this is actually going to be for the roof. So what I'm going to do is lay those there for a minute. I'm going to take a paintbrush with a little bit of water on it. And I'm going to wet this right on the top. And I'm going to wet the side of the house roof. This is the roof. This should be the roof. I'm just going to wet that. And then I'm going to take a sharp sculpting tool and I'm going to score this here. Score this here. And then I'm going to score this also right about there. And then I'm going to place the pointy part right here at the center or so of this little thing here. And I'm going to fold this down like that. And that forms a little roof. And you can kind of squeeze it here at the top to make it pointy like that. And you can flare this out. Flare this out. So you got a shape like that. See? You can smooth it. And yeah. So we're going to lay that down for a minute. We're going to get a little ball of clay, not this big, roll it into a noodle like this, and we're going to squeeze it like we did the house, remember? And made it like this little rectangular shape. Like this. And this is going to be the chimney for the house, and so we want to take a sharp sculpting tool and score that where it's going to join the roof, and then score where it's going to join here. Take a little bit of water on a brush, dab it there, and dab it there. And then we're going to stick it on there and kind of twist it so it's like that. And that's the chimney, and we kind of want that to be maybe kind of curving, going off. You know, because it's a fairy house, right? And fairy houses are kind of funny that way. Then what you can do is take a paintbrush like this that has a small handle, and you can put a little hole in the top of the chimney like that. I'm sorry my camera's a little blurry. I'm hoping it will start focusing better. It's actually a cell phone. I've had a lot of problems with the camera lately, and getting a decent camera has been a problem for me, and I just love to make my videos, and I just have to compromise, and I'm sorry about that, and I hope you won't be upset with me with that. So, that's what we got so far, right? Now what we're going to do is score the bottom of the fairy house right here. Score that. And we want to take the base and press a little flat at the top where the fairy house is going to go. I did skip a step. I want to take the back of the paintbrush handle like this, put it on the fairy house right about there, and press in, and then kind of roll the brush back and forth like that, and that'll make a little doorway. And then we can take the brush like this and put a little hole here, and that will be a window. Okay, so we got that now, like that. Okay, so we got the score in the bottom, and we got our base here, and we want to score the top of the base where the house is going to go, right here. It's kind of like this, See my fingers are interlocking there? When you score it, it gives more opportunity for there to be a good, solid join between the pieces. So you want to wet that, and then wet the bottom here of the house. And we'll put it on the base with kind of a twisty motion. And you want to be gentle, you just want to kind of twist and while pushing down a little bit. Like that. And then you can kind of blend it in to the base. Like that. So it's on there pretty solid, You also can take like maybe a ball tool or something like that. And you can go around and just make sure it's nice and blended there with the base, so it's, fairly solid. Like that. Now, you can take your fairy house. I'm sorry about the blurriness, I really am. I just don't know what to do about it at this point. I'm going to take the house and lean it. Lean it a little bit like that. Okay? And then I'm going to hold my finger here and I'm going to press it. So house is actually, as you can see, kind of fairy-like. It's not like fairy-like. You can shape it any way you like. And you can take your paintbrush and you can just reshape that door so it's okay. Like that. If it's leaning too far to the back, you can push it forward. Let me put a little window in the back here also. And maybe here as well. And then, when you get it the way you want, like that, you can also take a little bit of clay, like maybe a small ball, kind of press it flat, like that, so it's like that. And we'll make a little doorstep. So we'll score that right there, score the bottom of the doorstep, wet it, and just put it on there like that. Nice little doorstep. If you could, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more tutorials like this. And I have about 500 tutorials on my channel for all kinds of sculpting and painting and all kinds of fun things. But we made another, right? Another. And this is going to be a step here. So we're going to score this here. And score where it's going to join. A little bit of water. And press that into place. Right there. So we've made a step. You can pick up the house and take your ball tool and just blend that in at the bottom like that. And then we'll make another. So a little bit of ball. Squeeze it kind of flat like that. Score the little mound where it's going to go. Score this, the sep where it's going to go. Wet it, wet it. And press it into place right there. Looks like that. Then you can take your ball tool and blend it in on the bottom like that. So it gives a nice join. And just kind of press it so it's level with the ground. What you can do also, you can make a few extra little stepping stones that you could actually put in your garden. Now, the one thing you have to keep in mind about this air dry clay is it's not waterproof, so you wouldn't want to put this in a potted plant. But as you can see, you can make little stepping stones, so you can play with it. And you can make as many as you want. You can have a whole trail going here, you know, just rolling little balls and flattening them out, and have little stepping stones. Okay, so getting back to the house here, I think that's kind of like the way I want it. Okay, now I'm going to take a ball tool and make sure it's fairly clean. I'm just going to go around the base of the house and I'm going to stipple it. It's called stippling. I'm adding texture to the base just to make it a little bit more interesting. Just going around. Okay. You can also go to your stepping stones and you can take the sculpting tool, the ball tool, and add a little bit of texture to the stepping stones by just, you know, swirling the tool on the steps like that. Okay, now you can take a small paintbrush and get it a little wet, not too wet now, and just take your time and go around and smooth the house the way you like and do a nice job. It's fairly easy to smooth this kind of clay, so you can take your time and just smooth it out a little bit. Yeah, looking pretty good. Now what you can do is you can put your oven on a warm setting. Place this on like a plate or something like that, a dish, oven-shaped dish, and warm it for maybe 15 to 20 minutes. And that will dry the surface of the clay enough for us to put a nice little finish on it. So let's do that, and then we'll come back. Okay, we're back. We got our fairy houses pretty much dry. Now, the idea, I just want to talk about the drying. You don't want to put the house in the oven for a really long time. You want it to be, 30 minutes at the most, really. And you're not trying to dry it completely. You're just trying to dry the surface so it can be finished. Now, we're going to be working with Utrecht Studio Series Acrylic in brilliant purple and bright aqua green. And we're going to create a stain with these paints. And I'll explain to you why we want a stain instead of paint. Well, I'll put a little paint on here. The nice thing about stain is you don't have to be so accurate with your stain as you do with paint. If you're painting something really small, I'm going to take a couple of spoonfuls of water here and add them to it. I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to mix this up, creating a stain which we can then use to basically, essentially stain the house. So, and I chose these colors because actually green and purple go really, really well with each other. So you basically just want to mix that up. Now I've already done that. I've mixed up 2 batches, the purple and the green. And then I'm going to use a small paintbrush this time, like this. And I'm going to do the main part of the house in green. And what I'm going to do is when I dip into the stain, I'm just going to have a paper towel here. And I'm just going to dab off the excess. And let's stain the house. And it's also kind of an antique finish, a little bit. I get a little bit of stain, dab it off, and apply it to the house. If it was paint, if it was thick paint, it would not be so easy to apply, and it would be hard to get really clean lines between the different colors that we're using. And when it dries a little bit, you can go back over it to kind of make it, a little bit stronger. I'm going to do it on the stepping stones as well. And we also have these stepping stones, right? Oops. Okay, now I'll clean off the brush a little bit and go into the purple. You don't see me doing really lighter value finishes on here very often, I know. So you're probably a little bit surprised. I can do that though. I usually use pearlized pigments because I just love the way it looks. But, you know, I'm always willing to try something new. And see, you got really nice clean lines, which is, you know, you wouldn't be able to do this with paint. Absolutely not. And it's really actually very easy to apply. I did one earlier, a couple of days ago I made one of these. I actually came up with this idea for the house a long time ago, I think like in 2014, and I did a house like this in polymer clay, and it's got like 20,000 views on it now. There's actually white polymer clay, which is also a little bit unusual for me. And actually since then, I have done many designs, and I'm going to show you guys some really cool things you can do with fairy houses like this, and they're coming up. Really fun things. You can sculpt these fairy houses and make them really, really fun sculptures. So, yeah, that will be coming up. I like to do the bottom as well. Clean my brush and pick up a little bit of green, bright aqua green. Let's touch up that. You can see it's a little bit antique because it's kind of translucent, you know. And you can make all kinds of colors. You guys can do all kinds of colors. You can do these on flowers that you make and all kinds of things. Yeah, absolutely. So, you see, it's a very clean finish. The lines are very good, and it's a lot easier, much easier to paint with stain than it is with paint. So there we go. Our little fairy house, green and bright aqua green and purple, with our little stepping stones so we can play later on. And our little, you have to keep in mind, you know, this is definitely not waterproof, so one of the drawbacks, I guess, to air dry clay. But, you know, it's alright. It's, you know, I love sculpting with it. Oh my God. I have sculpted thousands of pieces. I have over the years. I have many, 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 many. You should see my house. It is so full of sculpture and art and oh my God, this is amazing, really. But yeah, it's really, really wonderful stuff to sculpt with, and so versatile, and yeah, really good stuff. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like. Share it with your friends, and if you want to share it on social media, that would be great. Your favorite platform, and you can leave me a comment. I am responding to all comments now. I'm trying to very hard. And if you have any questions, you can leave a question. I'll respond with a detailed, articulate answer. You're welcome to email me and send me pictures of your work. I'd love to see what you're doing with my tutorials. And yeah, absolutely. The email address is in the About section on the channel page at Jake Folger. And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe. I do all kinds of art tutorials, sculpting clay, painting, making jewelry, and even the more latest videos are doing media art or digital art with your creations, the things that you make. You can actually work into two-dimensional art pieces with a few different types of apps on your computer, and it's really a lot of fun. You should take a look at some of those videos. Anyways, that's about it. Please, if you like, subscribe to the channel. And really, thank you so much for watching. I'm really sorry about the blurry issue. Really trying to work that out, and hopefully I'll get a better camera soon. And that's about it. Thanks again, and have a great night. Bye-bye.